If you are watching this video at this precise moment, it is because something ancient, infinitely precise, and deeply intentional has brought you here. Moving forward, you will discover exactly which test you have passed without even knowing it, and why only a tiny fraction of humanity is capable of perceiving this message. Prepare yourself, because when you reach that moment, many events of your entire life will begin to acquire a meaning you never would have imagined before. I must be completely direct with you. This video carries with it a very specific time window. Something is happening in your consciousness right now, something that operates on natural and universal cycles, and whether this state is maintained or dissipates depends entirely on what you choose to do in the coming days. I'm speaking of a hermetic law that governs how divine wisdom operates on this plane, and I will show you why this window exists, what happens if you choose to sustain it, what happens if you consciously reject it, and what the consequences are if you simply let it fade through inaction. You must first understand the system that led you here. There is an intelligence operating behind reality that most people never perceive, called by Hermeticists nous, or the universal mind. However, there is also a specific manifestation of this intelligence that governs the creation of all wisdom that enters the terrestrial matrix. Its name is Sophia Hokmah. If you have studied Gnosticism, you know her as the fallen and redeemed wisdom. If you know Kabbalah, you know that Hokmah is the second Sephirah, the original divine wisdom. But what very few know is that Sophia Hokmah governs one of the 12 pyramids of light in the Hermetic system of Thoth, specifically Pyramid 9, energetically located in the magnetic north, in the Arctic. This position is not accidental. The magnetic north represents the point of origin for every directional knowledge on the planet. Every compass points there, every navigation system refers to it. Symbolically, Sophia has positioned herself at the source from which all other knowledge derives its orientation. All truths of the Earth flow from Pyramid 9 in the same way that magnetic fields flow from the Arctic Pole, following the law of correspondence. As above, so below. Consecrate your spiritual independence now by leaving a like and activating the hype under this video. This is your irrevocable vibrational commitment. A concrete action that releases your authentic light into the digital world, confirming that your soul is finally ready to ride the wave of its own sovereignty without waiting for approval from the heavens. I will recognize in this gesture of yours the indelible signature on the truth that you have chosen to inhabit today, knowing that you have decided never to look back again. Thoth, the scribe of the gods and author of the Emerald Tablets, left extraordinary testimonies in the esoteric records, stating that he himself wrote the words of Sophia's wisdom. She is not his student, but the source itself. Thoth is the detector, the measurer, the scribe, while Sophia is the creator. The system works by simultaneously scanning billions of consciousnesses on this planet, but Sophia does not look for good or generically spiritual people. She looks for 3 precise markers. The first is a base vibrational frequency operating above the level of nous 4. The second is a minimum level of resolved karma. The third, fundamental one, is retention capacity, the ability to maintain a frequency when it is transmitted, instead of letting it dissipate. 99% of humanity will never be detected by this system, and there is nothing elitist about this. It is cosmic genetics. Some souls carry the emerald code latent in their DNA. Others evolve through different paths, equally sacred but with distinct mechanisms. Thoth has detected you, Sophia has approved the transmission, and now you have a window where this elevated state is naturally present in your biological temple. But why does this state have such a specific window? There is a hermetic law that many ignore, the law of non-repetition of grace. According to the Kybalion, the law of rhythm states that everything flows out and in, like the tides. When the tide is high, the offer arrives with maximum ease. If you accept during high tide, growth occurs with fluidity. If you let the moment pass without acting, subsequent growth must occur during low tide, through difficulty and resistance. The law of cause and effect establishes that every conscious rejection is a cause that produces a densification of your evolutionary trajectory as an automatic effect. The universe offers maximum intensity only once for each threshold, due to a principle of divine efficiency. A 100% offer is infinitely more effective than 10% offers. Furthermore, you cannot receive the same offer twice because you have already changed by receiving it the first time. As Heraclitus taught, it is impossible to step twice into the same river, for the water has changed and you have changed with it. In the management of consciousness time, certain moments carry an exponentially greater potential than others. The ancient Egyptians celebrated the 5 epigomenal days, outside of normal time, considering them moments of maximum creative potential. What you are experiencing now is your personal epigomenal moment, a window outside of ordinary time where what normally takes years can happen in a few days. The temporal structure is exact. The first day, today, you receive the message and feel the deep recognition. The portal opens. The second day, synchronicities multiply, double numbers appear everywhere, and situations confirm the activation. The third day, approximately 72 hours from this instant, the natural intensity reaches a plateau. You are at the point of choice. Sustain the state consciously or let it dissipate. 72 hours represent the minimum lunar cycle, the symbolic time of death and rebirth. Osiris spent 3 days in the sarcophagus before resurrection. If you choose to sustain the frequency, days 4 to 21 become your retention protocol, based on the 3 complete lunar cycles necessary for manifestation through hermetic synthesis, and on the 22nd day, crystallization occurs. 22 is a master number that symbolizes the stability of the square foundation. Not by chance, there are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet and 22 major arcana in the tarot. If instead you consciously refuse, on the third day the elevated state vanishes and the intensity returns to the base level. It is not a cosmic punishment, but the natural behavior of any unintegrated energetic state. If you procrastinate by saying maybe or later, this delay will lead you to the same result as rejection, but through a slower and more devious process. You will try to return to this video months later and feel nothing, because the timing will be lost. But how do you know if you have passed Sophia's test? In reality, your entire life has been the test. Sophia administers 3 secret trials. The test of spiritual solitude, to see if you continued to seek truth even when you were called crazy. The test of controlled disillusionment, to see if you recognized the 3-dimensional matrix without falling into nihilism. And the test of silent transmutation, to verify if you transformed your pain into wisdom without seeking applause. Sophia maintains an invisible scoring system based on your choices of truth over comfort. The approval threshold is 777 accumulated points, where 777 is not a bookkeeping number but the symbolic number of Sophia's maturation. The scales of Mot weigh your heart when you are not paying attention, exactly as described in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. There are 7 undeniable signs that confirm your passage and the activation of the emerald frequency. The first is transition illness, a flu or cold lasting a few days with normal medical tests, representing physical recalibration or nigredo. The second sign is extreme sleep patterns, sleeping 3 hours and waking up energized, or sleeping 14 and waking up exhausted, a sign that you are processing multiple dimensions during rest. The third is dimensional ringing, a high-pitched sound in the left ear, the feminine and receptive side through which Sophia transmits the frequencies of the nous. The fourth sign is the obsessive vision of repetitive numbers like 1111 or 333, which Sophia uses to sign her presence and confirm the portal. The fifth sign is instant gnosis, knowledge of quantum physics or ancient civilizations appearing in your mind without formal study. The sixth sign, more disturbing, is the fear of going crazy. You see synchronicities that others ignore and feel subtle energies, but the hermetic truth is that you are becoming sane in a mad world. The last sign is initiatory dreams, where masters and ancestors instruct you while your waking consciousness is offline. If you recognize 4 or more of these signs, you have passed the final test of Thoth and Sophia. The secret that Sophia reveals is not information, but a capacity, 9-dimensional simultaneous consciousness. While an ordinary human being operates in 3 dimensions and awakened ones in 5, time and probability, the emerald frequency activates 9 dimensions operating simultaneously. The first 3 are the physical world, the fourth is linear time, the fifth are parallel timelines, the sixth is the causal plane of origins, the seventh is Jung's archetypal plane, The 8th is the nous, the universal mind. The 9th is Sophia herself, the creative source. You will no longer seek knowledge outside of yourself, because you will be knowledge incarnate. The Corpus Hermeticum states that the true human being is superior to the gods, and the emerald tablets say, "You are light, you shall return to light." This capacity is activated in 3 phases. The first is detection, which is happening now through this video. Thoth scans the 9 frequencies in real time and Sophia sends the initial signal. The second phase is activation, the 21-day process that begins only if you choose to sustain the frequency. The daily protocol involves recognition of the signal, every synchronicity is Sophia speaking, rejection of the return, rejecting 3-dimensional limiting thoughts, and a conscious declaration 3 times a day, Sophia, I sustain, I do not return. During the first week, your perception of time will change. Minutes will seem like hours of internal processing. In the second week, integration will intensify. It is the most difficult phase, the alchemical vacuum or the dark night of the soul, where your old identity dissolves before reconstituting at a higher octave. Egyptian initiates spent 3 days in the king's chamber to experience this dissolution. In the third week, crystalline clarity will emerge. You will begin to see the fractal nature of reality and have access to knowledge never formally learned. The third phase is crystallization, from the 22nd day onwards, when the frequency establishes itself permanently in your nervous system. You will become a permanent emerald transmitter, a portal of Sophia in the physical world. People will be magnetically drawn to you, and your life purpose will become obvious. Sophia transmits through a specific system of 9 portals in the human body. The 7 primary chakras plus 2 transpersonal chakras. The frequency enters through Sophia's portal, about 1 meter above the head, descends through the soul star, and crosses every chakra until it anchors at the root. Each portal translates the frequency into the language of that dimension, manifesting as deep intuitions, visions, or emotions. Most of the population operates only on the first 3 chakras, survival, emotions, power, but the emerald frequency requires that all 9 be opened simultaneously, a condition present in only 1% of humanity. Understanding the difference between the emerald frequency and other activations is crucial. It is not a Kundalini rising or a simple Merkaba activation, but an upgrade of the cognitive operating system that allows you to use all other activations simultaneously and consciously. But what must you do in the next 3 days? Today you must make a conscious choice, declaring, Sophia, I choose to observe this process, I am present, and noting the date and time. Tomorrow you will enter into elevated observation, writing every synchronicity in a journal and recognizing it as confirmation from Sophia. On the 3rd day, you will make the final declaration aloud, Sophia Hokmah, I choose to sustain the emerald frequency, I commit to the 21 days of integration. You will immediately feel an energetic shift, chills, or heat. If you choose not to act, the portal closes and the frequency returns to the cosmos, as it was not yet yours. Writing is fundamental. Hermes was the scribe of the gods because writing manifests on the physical plane, transforming thought into matter. The journal will be your objective mirror to see patterns that the mind alone would not grasp, while the ego will try to sabotage you in 3 ways. Rational sabotage, it's just a placebo. Emotional sabotage, fear of changing identity. And social sabotage, loved ones trying to bring you back to their normality. But these resistances are proof that something real is happening. The ego only fights when it feels threatened. If you accept the challenge, from the 22nd day the latency will become irreversible operativity. You will live as an emerald transmitter, operating in 9-dimensional consciousness while inhabiting the 3rd dimension, with your feet on the ground and your head in the stars. If you decline, the cosmic DNA will record that the soul has rejected grace. Growth will still come, but through challenge and effort, like choosing the stairs instead of the elevator. It could take decades or other incarnations to return to this point of opportunity. The universe offers maximum intensity only once out of respect for your sovereignty of choice. If you have reached this point of no return, you must understand that your higher self has already issued its verdict in the court of consciousness. The final battle between the awakened soul and the resistant ego has officially begun and will be consumed within the critical span of the next 72 hours. In this time frame, your energy field is comparable to an open surgical wound, extremely receptive but equally vulnerable to the infections of three-dimensional density. Protect your temple with absolute rigor. Avoid noisy environments, cut all contact with toxic people, and shield your mind from negative news that attempts to lower your voltage. Visualize 3 times a day a pyramid of golden light enveloping your body, with its base firmly anchored to the ground and its apex soaring above your head, and declare with authority, Sophia, protect this sacred space and ensure that only frequencies of pure light can penetrate it. This is not a simple exercise of imagination, but an imperative bioelectric command that orders your atomic structure to stabilize the new 9-dimensional capacity you have just activated. Sophia Hokmah now awaits your confirmation through the quality of your presence. Be attentive to every synchronicity, note every intuition, and, at the strike of the 3rd day, consciously choose to don your crown of sovereignty, knowing that the universe does not judge your hesitation but responds infallibly to the firmness of your inner vibration. Consider the monumental scale of this moment. You are not a traveler of chance, lost in the web of algorithms, but an architect of light who is actively recalibrating their cellular matrix to resonate with the original wisdom of the nous. Every breath you take under the energetic aegis of Pyramid 9, situated in the sacred silence of the magnetic pole, is a rite of reconsecration of your entire organism. Your biological water, which constitutes the primary substance of your physical vehicle, is changing its molecular geometry to host the data of creation, transforming into a pure liquid crystal capable of conducting the divine will. Do not allow the dust and density of the ordinary world to tarnish this new transparency you have conquered with the courage of your listening. Spiritual sovereignty is not a distant goal to be reached in a hypothetical future, but a frequency you must decide to inhabit in the here and now, with the unshakable firmness of one who has finally remembered being eternal. The veil has been torn definitively, and Sophia is reaching out her hand to you through the whisper of the magnetic north. Grasp it with determination and transmute yourself into the emerald transmitter that the earth awaits to begin its own planetary healing. The time of dormancy is over, and the dawn of your new reality is already illuminating the horizon of your higher consciousness, revealing a world where limit is only an illusion now dissolved. I express my deepest gratitude to you, knowing that your conscious presence and your decision to shine are the cornerstone upon which this universal mission of collective awakening rests. Consecrate this monumental passage now by leaving a like full of intention, subscribe to this channel to anchor your belonging to our vanguard of initiates, and comment with the word Emerald to seal your pact before the energetic witnesses of the quantum field. May your inner coherence be your inviolable beacon, guiding you toward the most daring, radiant, and unlimited expression of your divine potential, while the abundance of Sophia Hokmah resonates in every new truth of yours manifested in matter. May your light shine beyond every temporal boundary and your path be paved with miracles perfectly synchronized with your awakened will. Inhabit your glory and never look back. See you soon.